fifth graders. Today we are on lesson 5 in your unit 4 math packet. So you need your unit 4 math packet open up to page 6, which is the first page of lesson 5. There are more pages to lesson 5, but we're only going to look at the first part today. And it's a review of the area model. So just a reminder that everything I write, you should write too. And to start off, letter A here, I have 2 times 4. Now I know you know 2 times 4, okay? I promise I'm going somewhere with this. But in the area model, area is basically the number of square units it takes to cover a shape. And we've been looking at rectangles. So you learned back in the day to do 2 times 4, you could draw a rectangle and you could separate one side into 2 sections and the other side into 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. So you would have drawn a rectangle, you would have drawn a line separating this into 2 sections, and then you would have drawn 3 lines, which make 1, 2, 3, 4 sections. And then to figure out the answer to 2 times 4, you can count the number of squares that are created. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's how you got your 8. It's the number of squares. So we're going to take that concept from way back in the day and we're going to apply it to problems that you probably won't know right off the top of your head. So the problems we're going to look at today, like 4 times 14, 7 times 16, 4 times 18, these are ones that generally aren't in that 0 to 10 that we have memorized. And a lot of you during our number talks that we've had in the past, I can't wait to have another number talk with you. But in our number talks, a lot of you told me that when you try to do 4 times 14, one of your strategies was to break up this 14 into 10 and 4, taking the 4 times the 10 and the 4 times the 4. And that's exactly what we're going to do, but I'm going to show you how to use the area model to do that. So when we find the area, length times width, right? You labeled 2 and 4 on one side. So if I wanted to do 4 times 14, I could say, okay, well, 4 on this side, I would give the shorter side the smaller number, but it doesn't really matter, it's fine. And I'd give the larger side 14. Now you could draw a whole bunch of little squares on here and separate this into 4 and this into 14. But I'm going to show you just kind of a shorter way to mentally do what you had done before. Now before, you told me that instead of using the 14, you would break that 14 up into 10 and 4, right? So I'm just going to draw a line right here. And this length here represents the 10, and this length here represents the 4. And when you do 10 plus the 4, you would get that 14. So instead of looking at this as 14, we're looking at it as 10 plus 4. And now what we can do to find out what 4 times 14 is, you can do what you had done in your head before. 4 times 10, and we know that that is 40. And then to figure out this one, I would do this 4 times 4. So you're taking the 4 times this 10 and the 4 times this 4. And 4 times 4 is 16. Now to figure out what the area of this is, which would give us the number of squares, which is the answer we're looking for, if this is 40 and this is 16, you would add those two together because we're trying to figure out how much covers the entire thing. So to figure out the answer to this, we would do 40 plus 16. And 0 plus 6 is 6, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So we would get an answer of 56. All right, so take a look at this next one. I have 7 times 16. And when I look at this, I would break this 16 up into numbers that are easy to multiply, right? 10 and 6. So I'm going to write 7 on this side of the rectangle. And instead of writing 16, I'm going to break this up into 2 sections, and I'm going to multiply 7 by 10, and I'm going to multiply 7 by 6. So this together is the other factor. We're just making it, instead of having to do 7 times 16, we're making it into 2 smaller multiplication problems that are easier to solve. So to figure out this section, we would do the 7 times the 10, which is 70. And to figure out this section, we would do the 7 times the 6, because this side length right here is the same as this. So we're trying to find out how much space this is. And 7 times 6 is 42. So now if we want to know, okay, well, how much is this whole thing? How much is 7 times 16? We just need to add the 70 and the 42 together. And 0 plus 2 is 2, and 7 plus 4 is 11. So that means that 7 times 16 is 112. I didn't circle my other one there. I'll circle that one up there. Okay, so for this one here, I have 4 times 18. Think about what you'd want to break this 18 up into. And I think multiplying by multiples of 10 is pretty easy. You could break this up into anything you wanted. You could break it up into 9 plus 9 if you wanted. But we'll just continue with what we've been doing, and we've been multiplying by 10s, right? So I know that 10 plus 8 is 18. So in order to figure out what 4 times 18 is, I can write 4 along this side, and I can break this 18 up into 10 plus 8. So if I want to know the area of 4 times 18, I can do 4 times 10, which is 40. And then I can do 4 times 8, which is 32. And what do I do with those two? I add them together. So 40 plus 32. 0 plus 2 is 2. 4 plus 3 is 7. And we get 72 for our answer. So really, this is kind of the same thing that you've been doing whenever I've asked you to multiply numbers like this before. You've broken them up and you've written it as 2 separate things. I'm just asking you to connect the area model to it, because this is going to help us with the second part of lesson 5, which is called place value sections method. So a nice review of this will make the second part of lesson 5 a lot easier for you. But this is it for your notes in your math packet today. We'll do some practice in a little bit. Thanks for listening.